What is going on? My Unfiltered Truths. This is a response to Allegiance Poetry. And they made a video discussing looks versus personality when it comes to romantic relationships, romantic partnerships, love interests, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to give my feedback and my response. So it's a response video to Allegiance Poetry's video. In the original video, you can check out in the description box. There is a link to the video and to their channel, Allegiance Poetry. So it's early. I got, about an hour or so before I have to go to work. So I was like, hey, let me actually make this video. So I really think when it pertains to that, for me, both matter, basically. I agree that personality weighs more than looks for me, but ultimately both are significant to me, so they both matter. And what I mean by personality weighing more than looks for me is, like, for example, if we're looking at it from a grade point or like a percentage point, right? So like personality could be 60%, right? Or 70%. But looks have to be in the equation as well for me. So like I could do 60-40, 70-30. Ideally, it would be nice to just be 50-50 across the board, but realistically speaking, it seems like that's not realistic. And a lot of times you're going to have one way out more than the other. And at the same time, beauty truly is in the eye of the beholder. So what's attractive to you is probably not going to be attractive to somebody else. So everybody has different, attractions, and what they find physically or sexually attractive is going to be completely different than somebody else's. And then sometimes there is a general consensus of what is considered physically and sexually attractive and what isn't considered physically and sexually attractive. I think it's really important to note how societal standards pretty much set up a lot of these notions. So like in general society, we have what's considered conventional attractive. So a person can be conventionally attractive, which basically is just a nice way of saying, in general, most people within that societal context would find that person attractive. So for example, if we're looking at it, I'm in the USA. We have a lot of European-based beauty standards. Let's just be real. And then in the USA, for example, also, I guess I should put the disclaimer. I'm gay. I'm queer. So I'm attracted to other men. I'm not really interested in talking and dating women. Never have been. So I'm looking at other men. I think it's really important to note that men tend to be physical creatures, in the sense of we typically are looking at how you physically look. And this isn't to say that women and feminine people don't do the same thing, but overwhelmingly for men, we notice how you look before anything else, okay? So for me, if I'm not physically attracted to you, I'm probably not going to be interested in talking to you for a romantic setup, a sexual setup, a love interest. It's probably just not going to happen. Because again, for me, looks and personality matter. And I'm not sitting up here saying that somebody has to be a model, somebody has to be perfect, somebody has to be, Adonis, basically, 6-pack, 6 feet tall, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying all of that. And at the same time, would I turn a person down who was 6 feet tall with a six-pack? No. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? And at the same time, that's not the only people I would talk to. I mean, I'm not 6 feet tall. I don't have a six-pack. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to sit up here and be like, well, they got to have a six-pack. They got to be 6 feet tall, blah, 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 when I myself don't even have that. Now, personality. To me, personality will outweigh a little more than physical attraction. Because my thing is this, I've been with people that are quote unquote conventionally attractive, and I've been with people that are quote unquote non-conventionally attractive. And in both situations, it didn't end the way I wanted it to end, and I still ended up getting hurt. So for me, as a gay man dealing with other men, it really doesn't matter how attractive a man is. A man could be attractive, a man could be ugly. You're still probably going to end up getting treated horribly. I mean, that's just my personal opinion and my experience. Like, most of the time, because men, in my opinion, we are not, and then I'm just going to also put another disclaimer, I'm intersex. I was born intersex, and I identify as an intersex trans man who happens to be gay queer. So my socialization and upbringing is completely different from a lot of cisgendered men. So for me, the way cis males are socialized makes dating them really kind of sad, because it doesn't matter if he's ugly, if he's, okay, or in the medium range, mid, if you will, or he's attractive and drop dead gorgeous. You're still going to run into the emotionally unavailability, the lying, the manipulation, the laziness, the trying to get over on somebody, just very egotistic, very self-centered, very narcissistic at the end of the day, lacking basic communication skills, lacking empathy for others. So, because in both situations, I was talking to somebody that was like 5'4" and bald. And we were in our 20s. And they were in their early 20s. Because I was essentially 2 years older. 2 years, because their birthday is at the beginning of January. It was in January, and then my birthday is in October. Mid-October. So, 2 years, I was 2 years older. And they were shorter and bald. And still, it was the same egotistic, lying and manipulating, not knowing who they are, not knowing what they want, playing mind games, and using folks. And then I've been with people that are quote unquote conventionally attractive. I talked to somebody that was 6'3", 200 plus pounds, pretty face, nice face, nice bone structure, nice jawbone, light colored eyes, curly hair, and to me, a lot of this is European-based, beauty standards, and a lot of anti-blackness is mixed into it as well, and also colorism, because again, I talked to somebody that is quote-unquote black, brown skin, short, bald, same problem. Talked to somebody that was biracial, tall, light skin, curly hair, same problem. So that's why when I talk about these things, I'm like, it really doesn't matter to me when it comes to dating men, and in particular dating cis males. You're going to run into the same issues. At least I have, from my perspective, in my opinion, in my experience. I ran into the same issues. A person could be drop dead gorgeous and still treat you like shit. A person can be considered ugly and still treat you like shit. So, you know what I'm saying? Personality doesn't really seem to fluctuate a lot with that group. It's like they kind of all operate from the same perspective. And in my opinion, that is because of toxic masculinity. That is because of patriarchy. That is because of misogyny. And look at how we raise boys. I'm sorry, but you're telling them that they're weak and pathetic for crying. You're telling them that they shouldn't, be in touch with their emotions or their feelings. You don't teach them how to communicate. Everything is about power and control and taking advantage of something or someone or a situation. So it just makes it where good luck. You know what I mean? Like, truly good luck. Because the likelihood of you actually getting with somebody that has a decent personality in the first place is slim to none. At least in my experience, it has been slim to none. So, when I think about personality, I would like somebody that is aware of who they are, is caring, shows empathy, cares about other people, not just themselves. I would like somebody that is able to be on their own, right? And they have they have some independence. They're responsible and they're accountable. They're not sitting up here playing the victim and constantly deflecting when people come one-on-one directly to them to talk about an issue. They're not sitting up here pointing the finger at everybody else or trying to deflect what they did onto somebody else or project their problems, their insecurities onto other people. Like, I would like somebody that's responsible. I'm 32 years old. I work full-time. I have a part-time, a full-time. I do contractual work. I have side hustles. I pay bills. I'm paying off debt. I take care of my mom and granny. I have a lot going on. So I don't want to be with somebody that is always broke or playing broke. Because basically, I done dealt with folks that play broke, but really, they just want to use your money and they just want you to spend money on them. But it's never being reciprocated back. I don't want to be with people like that. I don't want to be with people who don't pay their bills on time or completely oblivious to adult responsibilities like paying bills, like working on your credit score, like caring about your credit score. Also, just being real. I'm college educated. I'm in student loan debt. I got $46,000 worth of student loan debt. So I'm not saying this to be like, ooh, I'm better than you, or I'm trying to look down on you or whatever. And at the same time, when you are college educated and or you are an intellectual, because an intellectual doesn't have to be a college educated person. And a college educated person isn't necessarily an intellectual. So let's understand that too. But if you happen to be both an intellectual and college educated, it, in my opinion, it's very hard to meet people that are on your level. Because again, you're sitting up like me. I have 4 college degrees, okay? 2 associate's degrees, a bachelor's degree, and a master's degree. And I'm an intellectual. I don't want to be around people that are not aware of what's going on in the world. Okay? I don't want to be around folks that everything is very childish, everything is very downplayed. You can't really talk about anything deep because they are not deep. They want to talk about, surface level shit. Very childish, very immature, very stuck on stupid. I mean, I'm sorry, but for some cis dudes, it just feels like you are talking to somebody that definitely peaked in high school. Like, once high school was over for them, that's as much development they've ever had. And basically, after 18, they stopped developing. Yeah, I don't want to deal with people like that. I'm not interested in that. Like, I definitely know for a fact now, like, nope. There has to be intellectual capabilities. I would prefer somebody that also is already college educated, already has their degree, or already working in their field, or already establishing a business or opportunities for themselves already, and not sitting up playing catch up. I'm sorry, but that's the other thing that has to be brought up. My grandparents used to always say this: You want to be in an equally yoked relationship if you're going to be in a romantic relationship, a love interest relationship or partnership. And arguably, a lot of people are not in equally yoked relationships. And the experiences that I've had, I was not in a equally yoked relationship. I'm sitting up here bringing this to the table, and then you don't even have anything to bring to the table outside of you being physically attractive and or you having a decent sex game. That's it. And that would have been fine and dandy, you know, had this been 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But in my 30s, I require more than somebody being physically attractive and having a good sex game. That's not going to maintain a relationship. So back to Allegiance poetry. You're right. That's why I do agree. For me, personality will weigh more than looks. And yet I still would like to be I have to be attracted to you. I can't just be sitting up like, if that's the case, we can be friends, but I'm not going to be interested in trying to be with you in a romantic relationship if I'm not physically attracted to you. That's just the way it is, for me. And at the same time, I also recognize I'm not looking for a model. I'm not looking for, you know, a Photoshop man. I'm not looking for somebody that I can build on Sims, right? Like, I'm not 6 feet, right? And I'm intersex and I'm trans, right? So a lot of times I'm not even seen as being conventional. So I get it, right? I think another piece of this is y'all have to have similarities. A lot of times people love to talk about opposites attracting, and to me, in my opinion, that's a bunch of bullshit, because you cannot be to the extreme. You cannot be complete opposites and think y'all are going to work out. Does not work out that well. Because think about it. If you're completely opposite of each other, you're already, in my mind, you're already setting yourself up to be in an unequally yoked relationship from day one. Okay? Because here it is. I'm goal-oriented. I'm accomplished, I'm hardworking, I'm responsible, I'm accountable, I communicate, I have empathy, I care about others. And then here you are, basically a decade behind from where you should be at. Uneducated, not really intellectual, lazy, don't really want to work, very self-centered and selfish. That's not going to work out. So I basically would want to find somebody that's similar to me or exactly like me. I don't want to be dating folks that I don't have anything in common with either, because that's the other thing. Like, I feel like a lot of times, and I have done it, people will settle for looks or settle for sex, and that's all you're getting from that person. And then you wonder why your needs aren't being met. You're not being considered. You know, they don't even value or respect you. And then again, as an intersex trans man, I'm not seen as conventional. And a lot of times we are used as fetishes, as sex toys. People fetishize us and people sexualize us. They don't really value us as actual individual human beings that are worthy of love and healthy relationships. They don't view it that way. We basically are kept in the sneaky link department. So a lot of times, what dating am I even doing? Because I'm not really dating. And then after this past experience that I've had, where I wasted 2.5 years talking to somebody that never really liked me the same way that I liked them, I'm not interested in dating anymore. I'm just going to be honest. It's very tiring. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of money. I'm not interested in that. I would rather focus on things that actually matter. Like getting out of debt, like my mom, my granny, like my hobbies, like my friends, like my family, like my community, like my personal goals, like my health and well-being, than worrying about trying to make myself appeasing for people that don't even like me to begin with. That's just how I feel, right? And I'm not really concerned about that anymore, to be completely honest, after wasting 2.5 years in the wrong situation with the wrong person. Not interested in that. So I just wanted to do my response to Allegiance Poetry. Again, check the description box. Their video and their link to their video and channel is in the description box. Make sure y'all check out Allegiance Poetry and consider subscribing to his channel, and I'm out.